Hey, hello, what's up, bro? Yes, I'm back again. I am so freaking tired today because I had a hard day, long day in the office, but still, I came back to my YouTube video so that I could post my video and every day to my YouTube channel. Okay, this is my challenge, so I'm still keep doing it, right? Okay. Well, anyway, I'm gonna talk about something that something I've been thinking, or maybe yes, what I'm gonna talk about today is think in English, right? Yes, a lot of people say that you should think in English, in order for you to speak fluently or at least smoothly. If you try to translate in your head or think in Japanese, it's gonna you have to translate in your head. So that is why you can't speak fluently. That is why, because it's going to take a long time to, if you think in Japanese or your mother language in your head, then trying to translate into English, and that's going to take a long time, time taking process, if you do that. So a lot of people say that you have to think, already think in English, right? So yes, I totally agree with that idea. Yes, if you think in English, if you think while you are speaking English, that's yes, you don't need less time to speak while you're talking to someone else. Yes, that's think in English is the key, I think, to become a fluent English speaker. I totally agree with that idea, though. If I think about it, thinking in English, it's quite difficult. It depends on the situation, right? Let me explain what I mean, right? And then let me talk about me, as an example. Okay, so when I speak in English, like I'm, speaking right now, when I talk in English, I actually don't think anything in my head. Actually, it's just it's similar when I was speaking Japanese, and that is my mother language. When I speak in English, I don't think much. Just English comes out. So similar that my mother language, right? So, but while I'm speaking English, and then if I do have to think about something, think about which word am I gonna use, or if whatever thing that I need to think about while I'm speaking English, I always think in English, right? So this is something that's very automatic, because I think that, I guess, while I'm speaking English, my brain is in the English mode or something. I don't have to. It's effortless. I just if I have to think, I think in English. It's effortless. It's automatic things. But if I think about it, because when you think about something, people would start thinking about something, but you actually don't realize that you start thinking about something. For example, if you are doing something else, maybe you will realize after a while that, oh, I started thinking about that person again, or that thing again, right? You just almost all the time. I think it's true for everybody, but in the like a daytime, excuse me. You just start thinking about something, unconsciously, and then you don't realize that you started thinking, right after you start thinking, right? Maybe it took for a while that you actually realize yourself that you start thinking something, right? So in those occasions, I always think in Japanese. If I think about it, if I think about what which language I am thinking in my head while in those occasions, it's always Japanese. I realize that yes, because I was born and raised. I was born and raised in Japan, right? And all the time, all my life, I'm using Japanese. So if if something that I'm thinking, if I started thinking something, unconsciously, it's almost all the time I'm thinking in Japanese. I just realized that. I think that is because, as I said, I've been using Japanese whole time, and then it's kind of but it is something it's like a program in the brain or something that if I think something it automatically start thinking in Japanese. That's my system, that's my brain, that's like auto habit. And then so in that way it's quite difficult. Quite difficult that think in English, because you start thinking about something without yourself noticing it, and then it's always Japanese, and then it's quite hard, I think, to think in English all the time, right? So in order for us to change that habit and change our system, change our brain, what about the system we have in our brain, to automatically think in English always, it's very, very hard. It's a very hard, yeah, I think it's very hard, how you can do that. And then I've been thinking, if there's any way that I could change our system in our brain, that automatically, if I think something, always in English, right? No Japanese. If I think, no matter how I start thinking, always, I just wanna try to find a way to make it always in English. Think always in English, so that well, anyway, yes, I was kind of thinking how I could do that and change my system in the brain. And then the one solution, I came up with one idea that it might help me to change my system in my brain. That is what I'm gonna try to do from today on is that trying to always trying to talk in English silently. I'm gonna no matter what I'm doing, and if I'm not speaking or talking to someone, I always trying to talk to myself in English silently without making any sound, right? So if I keep on doing that, all the time when I was awake, I try to always speak to myself, talk to myself in English. And then I think that if I just keep on doing that, I think it might be able to change my system in my brain. And then even though, if I just keep doing that, if I could make that change in my brain, I might be able to think always in English. And even though that I start thinking, with unconsciously, still I might be able to think in English. I don't know, but maybe if I do try real hard and hard enough to force my brain to change the system, my language system in my head, maybe it's possible. So yes, as I said, I'm going to try to do this, and then maybe after a couple of months or a few months, several months, after a year or something, I don't know. But after I'm going to keep trying to do this and trying to force myself, to change my system so that I could always think in English, right? So I'm gonna try this, and then after a while, maybe I'm gonna report this, what happened to me or what happened to my English system, and I'm gonna tell you if I was able to change my system in my brain so that I always think in English no matter what. Yes, that's another challenge I came up with. Actually today I decided to do this today. So yes, I'm gonna keep you updated and what is happening to my brain and stuff by doing this, right? Talking to myself all the time while I'm awake, silently, of course, because like walking down the street, I was talking to myself. A lot of people look at me and wow, what a weird guy. I don't want to do that. So yes, I'm gonna always try to talk to myself and inside without making any voices. And I'm gonna report you. I'm gonna update you, keep you updated with this. How it's going and stuff. Okay. Well, thank you very much for watching my YouTube video again, and then I'm gonna see you tomorrow. Okay. Thanks again. Bye.